like every single human on the planet. Nobody isn't this way. I mean, we all have issues. We all have things to work on. And so the starting point to have love in your life is to start treating yourself decently. Now, so you start treating yourself decently. That's accepting who you are. But as you do that, it requires you, because we don't stay in the present, because we keep going into the background, so it also requires us to learn how to forgive ourselves, to forgive who we are, to forgive what we've done. Because we've screwed up. I mean, I could have a list that could fill this whole room on ways that I've screwed up in my life. So what? There's nothing wrong with me. I have some stuff. And I'll show you in a minute what you do with that stuff. Now, so forgiving your trespasses, those trespasses against yourself and against others. Forgiving those. Now, you're not in charge of anybody else who may or may not choose to forgive you for some transgression you've done towards them. That's a different issue. You have to forgive yourself. And so you take that on, and the more you forgive, the more you accept. And the way you do both of those is through my special word, which is generosity. You have to be generous with yourself. You have to accept, hey, I screwed up. You know, I went to, how many times, Sam and MJ and I do camera stuff for things that we tape, and how many times in my history did I screw up somehow? Just last year I was taping something, and I've been doing this for 15 years, and the mic was supposed to be in the camera, and I had it in there when I started, but because it's a new light camera, when I stretched the mic for somebody to start talking, it pulled out. I taped 3 hours of material with no sound. Now, somebody might be saying, what a screw up. Say what you want. It's unfortunate. I disappointed some people who wanted copies of this too, and I feel sad that I disappointed them. But there's nothing wrong with me. It's just, yeah, it happens. And that's what you have to remember for yourself when you look at the stuff inside of you. It happens. Happens to everybody. I screw up. And so these three words, acceptance, forgiveness, generosity, if you can consciously work with those in your daily life over and over again, you start feeling the sensation of love. Now, I don't have it here, but there's an old line that many of us have used that says, love is something that you can't have unless you give it away. And this is what this story is about. Love in your life isn't about romantic love. It's about love. It's about opening yourself to the possibilities. Now, I'll run through real quickly what these other categories are. The next one is accountability. Now, I just got through to explaining to you all about how you need to forgive yourself and so forth. And the point is that the more you can forgive yourself and accept yourself and be generous with yourself, the easier it is for you to be accountable to others. Because you don't have a protective thing that makes you have to be defensive. See, if we're operating out of our shame, then it's really hard for us to get past our defensiveness. And so we can't be accountable. You know, I sit here and say all these nice things about myself. Well, somebody might walk through this door at any time and say, you know, we have to talk. I've got a problem with you. And my commitment, if I'm going to be loving, is that of course I'm available for that. And of course I will operate out of the assumption that whatever they have to say is legitimate, that that's the starting point. Now I may find something later that, you know, may mitigate that stuff, but the starting point is that whatever this person has to say to me is legitimate. And I can do that as long as I am being forgiving and accepting and generous with myself.